Hey, I'm doing it again. How's it going, y'all? My name's RepentIV. Some people call me Repent. Some people call me Ivy. My friends call me a different name. You're not allowed to do that. You know, by this time, like, this should be the second one I make, or this should be the second one that comes out. But, yeah, I have another stupid video idea. I kind of want to talk about something because it's really funny how popular he's getting. I want to talk about, like, comedy rappers slash musicians that are very much just, like, people who make songs that are just purely for the love of the game. And no, I'm not talking about people like Lil Dicky. Lil Dicky doesn't count in my mind. It's not because he's white. It's just because he's essentially gone, and he's never been doing it for comedy. It was just a way to get into the sphere. But that's like a topic for someone else to handle, and it's not for me to handle. If you've been on TikTok, which of course most people have, if you're around my age, that is the demographic I try to reach. There is a somewhat popular song and trend going around, something like this. Yeah, that's Dig Bar. Some of you might know this, some of you might not. But there is a creator that has been going around for about like 2-ish years maybe, whose name is Dig Bar. And he's not the first guy who's ever done this, and I really hope he's not the last guy who does this. But he's gotten really famous off of making realistically gay bars, but it's more of what I would like to call question bars and or like pause moments. Kind of had me thinking, man, we need to like go over all the comedy rappers slash artists that already exist. This is an art form that needs to be studied, and I'm not studying them. I'm just gonna point them out and be like, damn, give these niggas their flowers. So I'm giving some of these niggas their flowers, even if I think maybe one or two of them have done something weird in their past. I still want to point out how funny this thing is, that it's lasted, that it's been throughout history. And by history, I just mean a few years, and you can find examples of it everywhere. And of course, we gotta start with the infamous, the one who's been starting this convo, Dig Bar. So again, a lot of you know Dig Bar has been blowing up recently, again, as I have stated, mainly on TikTok for his song 22 Grand. But he has other songs, and a lot of the time people can realize what it is. For instance, Big Dick Randy being, I believe it's Halloween thing, where he talks about a guy who is named Randy that will just run up and take motherfuckers' blood. What do you want? Now, I'm not saying that Dig Bar is the pioneer of all genre. He is actually not the first, nor will he be the last guy who's ever done this. In fact, it's kind of funny if you motherfuckers are listening to him being like, oh, who would ever do something like this? That just tells me y'all are young and you should not be watching this channel / anything that these people make. But another thing that needs to be stated is Dig Bar has way, like, those aren't even that questionable if you really think about it. They're just kind of like whatever. The bars are kind of good.
Something that's really funny about this style that Dig Bar has chosen to be doing is that it very much emulates what high school freestyling at the lunch table is, where you're usually going to get someone who starts saying some outlandish bars or says something that is kind of sus, but he takes it from being, oh no, I didn't mean to do that, and kind of leans into the no, I am gay kind of statement, which is what makes this style very intriguing, especially when it comes to how a lot of the general public sees it. But for the most part, it's kind of funny that he's chosen to go this route.
Some of you, yes, you're not getting free feet. If you've been someone who's consumed some of this type of content before, you would know of someone named D-Bangs. Now, D-Bangs is one of the, to my knowledge, OG versions of these absurdist rappers / artists. If you don't know who that is, D-Bangs has made a song called Anime Titties, and it goes something like this. I think I can recite one of the bars, actually, one of the opening lines. Let's see. I don't have it written down, so this is me going from memory. Should tell you kind of how much I know my shit. I believe it goes, Thick Niggas Incorporated, how may I help you? I need a thick nigga. But no gay shit. Or no homo, because that's that gay shit. Absolutely right, sir. Anime bitches, I look at her titties and I home and I count these fifties. Bitch, my name D-Bangs. Something like that, right? That's kind of like the absurdist opening line. And that's a, like, generic playbook of most things. You can hear it in 20 Grand by Dig Bar.
He also does absurdist music in terms of starting with an outlandish line, but still keeping the flow to make it something you still want to listen to it to the end, and having a somewhat repetitive hook that keeps it very entertaining for you to want to continue listening to. D-Bangs, in the same nature, is one of the first people I remember seeing do this, and he continues that line very easily. In fact, it's so funny when people remember this song because it is one of those songs that you would have caught a lot of people in the early days being like, "Oh, who would ever rap like this?" That's the point. You're not supposed to like think this is the way normal people rap. It's not. Almost in the same vein as Cupcake. I forgot to write her down in this list. Cupcake is also someone who was an absurdist rapper who very much who made music that was not necessarily to be fully entertaining. Granted, it was still made to be somewhat listenable, but it was made to be just off base enough where people would listen to it and go, but then move on and be like, wait, hold on, she's kind of spitting.
You may primarily remember Cupcake from that one trend that went the Reese's Puff, Misery, and Cupcake, or CPR actually is what it's called.
Another group who kind of fulfilled this kind of weird niche of shock absurdist rappers, I don't know what you call them, is MC Virgins. What kind of fucking name is MC Virgins? Yeah, MC Virgins was a group back in the early 2010s, I think. Maybe like 2014, 15-ish. I don't know. I'll probably show it like somewhere here. Being like, yeah, they are actually here. They're also back around the time of D-Bangs. If at any point you were hearing about D-Bangs, he would also be lumped in the conversation of MC Virgin. This isn't because they were like equally talented. It was more so just because they were both people who made absurdist songs that kind of focused more on an anime feel that very much emulated the sound of the anime loser, but they kind of had some bars in it. If you want to know some key songs that they made, I think they had about 3. Something that they had was in the same vein as Anime Titties. There was Anime Thighs or something like that, and that song, if my memory serves me correctly, that song had to be replaced 3 different times because it couldn't get the right clearance, and every time they put it, it would get canned and they had to remake it to do something else. It's kind of funny. There's also 2 other songs, and I think if future me comes back to edit this, he'll put them above my head and also tell you a little bit about them. I'll pause in case he does that. Anyways, now in this vein, D-Bangs, Dick Bar, and Cupcake and MC Virgins are very much more in line with what I would call straight up just absurd shock humor rappers / artists. They do make somewhat good songs, but they're more like surface level and they don't have any real meaning behind them. If you want someone who also did some absurdist humor, like their whole thing wasn't being a rapper, they are a comedy person, most of you would know who fucking Zach Fox is. Zach Fox is essentially the guy that went viral around the time TikTok blew up, which should be somewhere around this date. In blowing up, you have heard Jesus is the One. This song was everywhere. People still put it to this day being the song that predicted the future, being the statement that he has. R.I.P. Betty White. I think it's Free Palestine and other shit. While he was doing a comedy absurdist song named Jesus is the One, he still did say some real true shit in that, and people quote it to this day. But it is also just weird and outlandish enough for people to be like, whoa, actually this shit kind of hits. And part of that has to do with the fact that Kenny Beats is a fucking god producer, and he can make some things like good even if they are weird. Zach Fox also has other songs. You might not know this because you might not pay attention to certain shit, but yeah, he has other songs that kind of fit the absurdist mold, that being Square Up and other things. But Square Up is his second most popular song. It might actually be his most popular song according to Spotify, but Square Up is one of his most popular songs that people know but kind of forget that he made. It is literally just a song about fighting niggas. It is crazy how people forget that this song exists and don't put any emphasis on it. With that being the case, Zach Fox also has 2 other songs that I like way more than Square Up and Jesus is the One, and that's Fafo Being Kicked In. Fat Flow is a lot more about like in the same vein as Square Up. It's very fun in terms of being like, if you fuck around, you will find out. And then you got the Being Kicked In, which is literally just shit's happening, and then it's like, oh, I'm off a perk. As a quick statement, though, there's another absurdist rapper or absurdist artist who doesn't really fit the mold, but he sits at the top of my head not because he is an absurdist one, but because he made the one iconic song, and that is fucking Thundercats. Yes, I get it. Thundercats is an actual musician who makes real songs and other shit. However, Thundercats has Dragon Ball Durag, and that song sounds like this. Again, if I'm allowed to have it, it will be on the channel. You'll hear it. If I'm not, you're not hearing it. But it sounds fucking funny. It is the most iconic song that exists from his discography. Yes, I get how absurd that sounds, but it is funny as hell. You need to listen to it. I can't let Thundercat get away with the fact that he made that song and never acknowledge it. It's not like he doesn't acknowledge it. It's one of his most popular songs, but it's still funny. It's a weird song. It's about just a guy who literally is just chilling with a Dragon Ball Durag. When it comes to like fucking absurdist comedy rappers slash artists, they're not necessarily supposed to make sense. They are very much meant for instant gratification slash momentary humor and timing, right? They're not supposed to make you think. You're not getting Kendrick most of the time when you listen to these types of things. You are getting Cupcake, and you're going to like it. The problem there is that they can't be anything more than what they are initially, and their whole goal is to shock you to start to listen to their discography more. And I'm not knocking it. I get it. You need to do whatever you need to do to break out. Hell, I'm making these fucking videos because I'm making them because it would be funny to break out with these videos. But I do understand making the content that you make absurdist content, but then also being like, but I make other real serious shit. Please go watch it. It'd be really funny, right? I don't know if I've tackled everyone who's ever done this type of shit. Absurdist music is like something that is very niche. You need to have like your finger on the pulse to get it. But if you get it, you get it. It's a very interesting strategy in terms of making something that people like, because the whole point is to make weird shit that sounds rhythmically pleasing and shit of that nature. If people have more absurdist humor or absurdist songs, I would love to see them in the comments. But again, I only have like 5 people who watch these videos consistently. But if this does somehow blow up, it'd be really funny if you could tell me more people who make absurdist music. I might go listen to them and break it down a little bit more. Anyways, yeah, I don't know how to end these videos. Please tell me like other people who might have done absurd songs. Please leave a little comment. If you've made it this far into this weird session that I don't know how long it's been, fucking subscribe. Or if you don't want to do that, just like it. I want to see my shit get big. What? Leave a like, comment something. It will probably help me in the algorithm, I think. I don't know. I'm new to this shit. I'm a floating head. I'm a cartoon head, dude. What do you want from me? I'm the baddest bitch in the club. He's the baddest bitch in the club. Woo!